Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining me. It's Wednesday night, Citizens United. My name's John Restaino, and of course, I am accompanied by Robin, who is over there going to be monitoring Facebook right now. She's doing her what she does with the sharing. Wade's here, and what's going on, Wade?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks. He's sitting over there doing all of our tech work and part of the show, as usual. Beautiful day. Boy, it was raining earlier, and now the sun is out. It's great here at Gorillas Inc. Studios. Can't wait to continue where. Well, we'll let you all know soon where Gorillas Inc. is headed, and a lot of good stuff happening with them tomorrow night. I do want to right off the bat remind everybody about Goal Getters with Restaino and Fidel. It'll be a special draft day edition live starting at 7:30. We will go from cover to cover, from the first pick to the 32nd pick, live, and talking about the draft with you, talking about every pick. So please join us there. But I have a special guest tonight, and I'm pretty happy. We don't get many here at Citizens United, and I'm joined now by Mr. Jim Perry, independent candidate for Niagara Falls City Council. And we're going to get to know Mr. Perry a little bit tonight. And Mr. Perry, welcome.
Hi, John. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us today.
I'm glad I could be here.
We appreciate it. A lot of people know you from the water board and all that. But a lot of people might only know that. So I was hoping, introduce yourself to the voters. Let them know there's more to it than just that water board position you have.
Sure. Let me first point out. I noticed the picture you have up there had when I had my hair on my. I had a bet with my wife that I would shave my head. She won, so I shaved my head. So that's what you're seeing here.
Right.
Anyways, we'll keep it like this for a while.
Nice.
I promised her 3 months. So, anyways, I'll go through a little history here for you. I spent 10 years in the Army. I graduated from Trott Vocational High School with a vocational diploma in electricity. Graduated from there, went into the Army. I was picked number 35. At the time, they had the Vietnam War going on, and everybody had their name went in a lottery. So that was the first lottery I ever won, if you want to call it winning. I was 35. So they picked my number, but I volunteered because I knew I was going to go. I ended up not minding being in the service. So I spent 10 years in there, and I got out and I came back to Niagara Falls because I married an Italian woman, and we had to come back to Niagara Falls because that's where the family was. So it's a big family thing. It was interesting. The first job I got was for the city of Niagara Falls, working for the Niagara Falls Water Department, outside maintenance crew. I worked there for a little while. I ended up going to work for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company in human resource management with the chemical division. There, I ended up spending about 32 years. I retired in 2015. As I contemplated my retirement, my father always taught me, retire as soon as you can. So I did. In 2015, after a little over 30 years. Ended up getting a little bit bored, so I started looking around to go back to work, and a friend of mine who happened to be a union person who was, I don't want to mention any names, you get into this, but he called me, he said, we have a problem with the water board. He said, we have gone 7 years without a new contract, and they're at a stalemate with the management. And we worked through some tough times at Goodyear. He was on the other side of the table. And we saw a plant closure, decline in business, and But we made it through, and we always had a good respect for each other. It was
Sure.
a good working relationship. Um, we got to be friends, so he asked me to come over, so I did. So the contract a very short time. There were only one or two sticking points, and it was not a difficult contract to settle as soon as we got over those hurdles. Mine was a full time job again and be burdened by a bunch of work, but it ended up being like that. Once I looked around, I saw how bad uh, things were. I ended up staying on for 4 years, or just about 4 years, a little over 3 years. Tried to make some improvements there. Ended up the city don't change, and also I saw this city has. There's a lot more to it. There are a number of people that want to hold this city down to where it is because they're doing pretty good with it. But this city should be on par with Las Vegas or with really um, a really it's a world class city. You go anywhere in the world, anywhere you go, you say you're from Niagara Falls, they know what you're talking about.
Right.
I've been over Europe, I've been in Southeast Asia, I've been all around the world, and they know where Niagara Falls is.
Right.
But you come to this town and then you look around and what do you see? Um, let's face it, this doesn't take on an era of world class city.
Right.
So that's what got me involved. And then I was asked by a few people to stay on. A couple of people wanted me to stay on at the water board, but there were some things going on there that I just couldn't tolerate. Uh, so I got out of there and I decided, after speaking with a couple of people, maybe I can do some good for the city. Uh, I really had no interest in going into politics. I didn't want anything to do with
Right.
a political career, but sometimes you get called to do things uh, that you really feel that you have to. And I think that's where the point was. I felt I have to do something. Either you sit back and you take what's coming, or you try to affect the change. And I hope I hope I can do some good for the city. I hope I end up winning and I get in. I went as an independent candidate because, to be honest with you, I've had disappointments working with both the Democratic and Republican parties. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just said that, there's some disappointments there. And if I can work from the inside to make things better, I'll do it. And who knows what the future holds.
You know,
That,
the thing that really interested, me is the fact that you're going to be an independent. Because I don't know how many times I'm an independent myself that people generally try to they try to make it seem as though it's impossible to win as an independent in Niagara Falls. We know it's heavy Democrat, right? But I think Republicans are starting to make
yeah.
gains in the city a little bit as far as registry. What Impact Niagara? What is it? Like, I know it's a part, but what is it to you? What is the Impact Niagara?
Well, actually, my daughter came up with the name because she says you want to make an impact on Niagara Falls, and we're primarily focused on Niagara Falls. There's a lot of things happening beyond our control that we can't do anything about, but we can do something about Niagara Falls. And uh, the vision here is, we need to get number one back to the people of the city telling the politicians what to do and what they want, rather than the politicians just dictating to the city. We need to do something to impact the city to give it a positive force, and that's what's behind the name, to make it a positive impact on the city. So that's putting it simple.
Right. Oh, good.
So
So you're going to have to break through because this is a city that is you know, unfortunately, is we can tell by mayoral races and everything else, they just are like robotic. If you're a Democrat, you vote
Mhm.
Democrat. If you're a Republican, you vote Republican. So you'll be having to break through, and I wish you luck because I'd love to see someone break through this, and maybe then it would wake everyone up into realizing that you don't need to be a part of those two parties, and you can break through. I want to read you a quote, and
Yeah.
it's a quote of your own, and I'm sure you'll remember it. It's you said there's the evidence of corruption is all around us. All you need to do is look. And I guess I know. What do you mean by that? What did you mean when you said that?
Well, I don't want to get, like I said, I don't want to. Okay, look at, here's a good example. You look at what the uh, I'm going to try to give you. I want to give you something broad that we're not.
Right.
Okay, so you look at some of the services that we have in this city. Now, we're paying millions and millions of dollars a year to contractors that do the work that a lot of we could do with the city employees. But instead, we're hiring contractors out to do the job that they should be doing. And and I, I'm speaking specifically now with, say, the water board. The experiences that I've had there, we've hired contractors to do a lot of their work. Well, we have our people sitting around because we want to hire a contractor to do that work. That is just, in my opinion, that's very wrong. Um, and when I say corruption, I don't want to get into legalities of it and stuff, but the corruption is hiring hiring family and friends who are incompetent to do jobs. I don't mind it when you hire friends and family. That's all fine, provided they can do the job and provided you can keep them at arm's length. And if they're not doing the job, whoever their supervisor or director is going to terminate them or get rid of them for not doing the job.
Right.
As simple as that, and then not have to face repercussions because I terminated so and so because they're not doing the job. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty simple.
Yeah. No,
And,
that's
and that's not likely.
yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, you look at certain things that have happened. I know you keep up with it, and the one thing that always comes to mind is that situation on Memorial Parkway. I always think about that when they had to eventually, people are bidding on it, then it gets taken, then the city don't want it back, but they could get it back. Those are the types of things that are huge. It's just huge. It's right there, and you'll be a part of it. And if
amen, amen.
and you'll have to destroy
Yeah,
it. Yeah. So let me ask you another
yeah.
question. There's just some things that have come up recently, and then I want to get your opinion on some other things. But first of all, we know here $58 million, I think, is going to be coming from the federal government soon, through the state to Niagara Falls, the city of Niagara Falls. What? I mean, I know it's going to be very broad. What would you do with it? What do you think Niagara Falls should do with that when the city gets $58 million?
Well, one of the things, and I know it sticks in everybody's, it bothers everybody, is we're supposed to be so poverty ridden, and one of the things they said I've heard over and over again is we needed to have a garbage tax, a tax on the garbage. All right, because we had to have it because we couldn't afford what was going on. We couldn't afford to make our payrolls. We couldn't. Well, you know what? Some of that money, I don't think it should be burdened by, and what that essentially is, that garbage fee is an extra tax. Why are we paying an extra tax for the basic services we should already be having? And and with that money, a lot of that money could go into promoting promoting our tour. Let's face it, Niagara Falls. Millions of people come to Niagara Falls every year to come to see the sights. And we could use that as a promotional tool. Some of that for promotional tools. Some of that, again, we have we have talents here that make up the the taxes that we've put on the citizens of Niagara Falls, the residents. I mean, we could alleviate a lot of that. And of course, look at the infrastructure itself. It's falling apart. We have roads that, I'll tell you what, I've been in combat zones that have roads better than some of the roads we have here, and I'm not exaggerating. So,
Right.
a lot of that, and it's, I mean, it's as simple as the nose on your face. Some of the stuff we could do. So,
Right.
and like I said, the one thing I go out and you talk about running an independent candidacy is going to be difficult in Niagara Falls. You're absolutely right, because you have to go out and do everything yourself with the handful of people that you have. I've been blessed to have some people in Niagara Falls here that have helped me, and people that belong to both parties have helped me, and I appreciate that. I know I know by calling them by name that there's going to end up being probably retribution to them because they're in a party, and the parties don't like cross party lines. But you know what? Everybody in Niagara Falls, we have to work together. You have to sound with one voice. We need a vision for everyone to see what it could be down the road. We need a comprehensive plan to go somewhere. It seems like everybody that's been elected, everybody that's been in public service, they put their time in so that they could retire.
Yeah.
I'm retired, so
Right.
I don't have anywhere to go. What we need to do is look for the future, and we need to build for our
Right.
generations coming up.
Well, here's another question, and this is something recent again, and $46 million is coming into Goat Island to build a visitor center. And we all know that Goat Island does nothing for us. I think we all know that, unless something's changed. Now, you had our Senator Ort, we had Morinello, and we had the mayor that were very excited, and they were. I mean, you were very excited, high-fiving each other almost. What are your thoughts on this visitor center at Goat Island?
You know what? One of the problems we have in Niagara Falls is a lot of people may not know that, but much of the city is controlled by the state, and it's a shame. I know that there's been criticism of this the center at Goat Island. I find that it's a positive thing, but we need a lot more than that. That you have one thing there. Anything is good that comes into the city like that, but I think we're hurting ourselves when we depend too much on these government handouts. We need to build the businesses. We need to help the smaller businesses, people that are in business in this city. We need to promote them and help them more than we need to have a big project come in and then everybody go away. The power project. Oh, it was great for a little while. We had 100,000 people in the city, a lot of commerce coming in. But then it all went away.
Right.
And now we've dropped, our population has dropped to under 50,000, and it's been a continuous decline. You look at it, just the census since 1990, we've been dropping people. And I've heard a lot saying, well, because business is leaving, because factories are leaving, but it's more than that. We have, like I said, we have the things that people come here from all over the world to see Niagara Falls.
Right.
And I think a lot of the private sector could benefit off of that if we just give them a helping hand and eliminate some taxes, eliminate some regulations and some districting. But you have to look at that in a case by case situation. It's not as simple. I mean, I could give you all these buzzwords and things, but you have to look at it all on an individual basis.
Do you have Robin? Is there something from Facebook?
Yes, we have a question from Michael Mickey Rimmon. He says, Jim Perry, during your time in the Army, did you have boots on the ground in Vietnam?
I was not actually in. I'm not considered a Vietnam. I'm not a Vietnam veteran, a Vietnam era veteran. I was sent to Fort Ord, California was one of the kickoff points. But at the time that I was sent there, uh, they started cutting back. Nixon started cutting back the troops there, so they ended up sending me to Berlin, Germany. So I did not end up in Vietnam.
All right, let's.
So
I'm going to try because I know I only have you first, and I appreciate your time. Let's go through some things real quick that I have that I want to ask you. What are your thoughts on bed and breakfasts? Now, this is a big deal here, obviously because we're such a tourist town, and I agreed a little, kind of with the mayor's thought on putting them all in districts and keeping them out of other parts of the city, but having districts because places I visited in the past, like let's say Myrtle Beach and down in Florida, they generally have their short-term rentals in one spot. What did you think of that? What are your thoughts on short-term rentals?
I was sent to. I was getting a little bit of feedback here. I didn't hear the whole thing, but no, I don't know if it came from you or if it came from my other. Basically, you're talking about districting the. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, the short-term rentals. I know the mayor wanted to put it in specific spots in the city, and not have them like out in LaSalle and all around. What do you think?
Yeah, I know we have them all over pretty much all over the city, and I did follow that a little bit, and for the residents in certain areas there's a hardship and because they don't like it, but I again that's another regulation on business that I'm not real fond of regulating business in that way, but you have to a lot of that you have to take out a case by case situation. I'll tell you what, I have a couple houses. One I'm renting out, and they opened up a B&B Airbnb right next door to where I am, and at first I know the tenants were the tenants I have living in that building there, without being too specific. They were against it. They didn't think it was a good idea.
Right.
But then after they started doing some business, the landlord or the person that owned it was doing an excellent job of managing that property. And so this is what makes it so difficult. I know that it can be done. I know that it can be successful, and the person living in that house that I have, I was just talking to her 3 days ago, and she said, they're the nicest. Those are the nicest people that own that place. And she said, if I ever have a complaint or anything, I just call it right up, and she comes over and takes care of it right away. I've never had an issue with anybody living there, anybody running the place.
Right.
So that's a very tricky question you asked there, because you have to kind of take it again. It's on a case by case situation. I understand the need to district that off, but on the other hand, I'm really not a big fan of heavy regulations. But so you have to look at it like that.
Jim, another question. I want to get these a little rapid fire before I got to let you go. Do you know how, like in North Tonawanda, Lockport, Buffalo, they do district counseling? So everyone, it's wards, it's whatever it is. What do you think of that? Changing Niagara Falls into being 5 districts, whatever it is. Did you ever think of it, or what do you think of it?
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I Actually, I'm in favor of it, to tell you the truth, because you can focus more on an area that you represent. And um, I'm a big fan of it, to tell you the truth, because you can't be, I can't sit here and think or believe or try to even convince anybody that I'm an expert in any one area, or I know this area of the city better than that area of the city. I know one subject better than another subject. We all have our strong points and we all have our weak points, and anybody who runs it for office, look, we're not superheroes. Nobody's a superhero. Nobody knows everything, and I know certain areas of the city. I know my area of the city.
Right.
What I have to depend on is people from different areas telling me what they are. It would be really nice if we could just focus on one section, and take care of one animal. But the way Niagara Falls is now, it's not set up like that. But I, so I'm in favor of it.
Wait, you got a
Hands
question?
down.
Well, I also wanted to state that it also jeopardizes where the poorer areas where there is no representation right now as well. So we
Yeah.
are in a without wards, you're basically putting multiple people in that same rich area as
Sure.
your council. They are the ones who can get the funding and stuff like that.
Oh, we've seen it. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
for years. Yeah, absolutely. Jim, I got a question for you too about the violence here. I don't know if you probably know the numbers. 1985 was our deadliest year. 8 homicides in 1985. We had to have 80,000 people back then. We're at 48,000.
Yeah.
We had 20 homicides last year. Now we have 4 more already in 2021. So these records are going to seem like being broken. Now the mayor himself, I gotta say, has put kind of a gag order on. We don't get to hear from the police chief anymore. We never get to hear from our police chief. What do you got to? I mean, I know you can't. None of us have the answers, but
Yeah. No.
you know,
Over the weekend, I don't know if you followed the weekend. They had a three in one day, and they just had a shootout on
yeah,
over on Highland Avenue, and it's getting worse and worse. And as our population falls, geez, it's like we're in the Old West shootout movie here. And I don't think the Old West was really ever that as bad as they make it out to be in the movies. You're absolutely 100% right. Number one, I think we need a stronger presence for law enforcement on the road, on the streets. There used to be a time where we were walking. They would walk the beats, and you'd see them on the street. When I was a kid, they used to have them in areas, and they had substations throughout the city. Now I know they don't have that anymore. They've moved everything up to one place. But I think though having those substations in areas of the city would help a lot for the knowing individual areas. I don't have all the answers for that, but I know that when you have a higher rate of employment, you seem to have less crime in an area. When people are working, when people are employed, there tends to be less. There tends to be less of that.
yeah.
I've seen it in different areas, different parts of the country where I've lived. There is some correlation there,
And
and I think that is key.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that I wish we could get, and Jim, if you get in there, it sounds like you would understand what I'm saying. The amount of violence in this city is just. I mean, we're at when you do it per capita, we're somewhere like number 6 if you match them up with Baltimore and different places as far as the most deadliest city. I think it's time for some of the city hall to just kind of get a grasp on it, at least acknowledge it. But I know, Jim, I just saw that you did. My next question for you is residency. The residency law here, and the city charter says what it is. Sometimes you get time to move into the city, whatever happens. What do you think of residency? Is it? A lot of people want to get rid of it. They don't like it. I've heard that a million times. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, from here's I have a couple of different views here, and one is from a person. If you're collecting money from an area, if you're getting paid by you're being paid by the city, then you should be living in the city. Uh, Now, I know right now there's a little battle going on with the police department and the mayor with the residency issue. They've had a collective bargaining agreement that says that the rank and file they can move out of the city once they have so many years in. And the mayor is telling them, well, if you get promoted, you need to move back into the city if you become part of the other unit. And you know what? I am totally against. If they were permitted to move out by collective bargaining agreement, just because they're promoted into another part, I really can't agree with that because you're putting a hardship on the police officers themselves, and they're the first line. I have family in law enforcement, so they're the first line of defense here. Those are the guys that you are going out when you're having a problem and you can't, you can't handle it. You call the police. The police come out, and they're expected to handle every situation. So, if they have a collective bargaining agreement that says, look, after so many years you can move outside the city, I'm not a big fan of that, but if that's what the agreement is, then that should be respected. Uh,
Well, Jim,
it's
you don't know how much we all appreciate you joining us tonight. Before I have to let you go, any final words for the voter? I mean, for the city that are watching us.
you know what, yeah. If you're satisfied with what this city is, then we keep going in the direction we're going. That what we have is all we're going to get. But I think if you look around this city and say we're really not what we should be, the city is. You agree that it's in decline. I think you need to think of something else, and we probably need to look outside the box. And I'm hoping that people will realize that and they'll wake up and see it and will support me because I definitely think we need to shake things up and we need to do things the right way. And the right way may not be the way we've always been doing it because look at the results. That's it.
Well, you know what? We'll leave it there.
Thank you, Jim.
And hopefully we catch up again as we get down the campaign road, and we'll talk again.
Anytime, John. Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim. Well, that was a good interview. Thanks for Jim Perry for being there. You can find anything you want, I'm sure, online about Mr. Perry. His email address, he gives it to you. Ask him, send him whatever you like. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be back in a couple minutes from our sponsors. And once again, I thank Mr. Perry, independent candidate for Niagara Falls City Council, for spending that whole half hour with us. And like I said, reach out to him. You can find his email address everywhere. He'll give it to you. Go talk to him. Independent candidate for Niagara Falls City Council. Guys, what'd you think?
Good interview.
He was good, right? Robin?
I was impressed by him.
Yeah, nice interview.
Yeah.
You know, he answered all the questions, and I was happy to hear that sometimes you just don't know the answers. But
I would like to tell him that do not be disappointed if you lose this race. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
A lot of people vote their affiliated line, so don't let that disappoint
Yep.
you. Continue to try to build the new, because
Yeah.
just because a loss shouldn't stop you from trying to help your community.
Yeah, no, you're right, because you just got to get the word out there, and then people will change. It's going to be an uphill
Even if
battle.
it takes 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, eventually they'll change.
Yeah.
Yeah, to break through this gridlock of Democrats and Republicans in the county and the city, and with what they're up to half the time, both of them, and they collude with each other, they do whatever they do with each other, and all that. As an independent, you're going to have to punch them in the mouth, I think, though, sometimes, don't you?
Definitely.
Like, you might have to tell them. It might be uncomfortable to tell them what needs to be said. You may lose friends, who knows, if they can't handle it. But you got to do it. And that's how we get unconventional, and that's how maybe something changes. Let's go to this story, guys. We talked a little bit about it. It's about that $46 million state-of-the-art visitor center to be built on Goat Island. There you go. There's a render. I think that's from the governor.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
There's a rendering, a nice
Beautiful
picture.
painting. How much did that cost you, under?
Lots.
Lots.
Beautiful.
Money.
It's a beautiful painting. I mean, they're currently looking. This is always funny when I hear this, because I heard this about the Harriet Tubman statue here in the Falls. They are currently taking bids for a sculptor. These guys are currently taking bids for a construction manager advisor. 49,000 square feet this is going to be. Bids start going in 2 weeks. Who the hell? That'll be great to find out who gets that bid.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine? Come on. That's not going to be a straight out good bid. What do you think? And this is Albany we're talking about.
Right.
Anyways.
This is disgusting.
You know just damn well that's going to be a circus. Because they do it all the way down to here in the Falls, in other places.
I'm going to throw this little clip on.
Yeah.
After millions of dollars have already been spent on the park and removing the Robert Moses Parkway, the work now turns to building a new welcome center. And while the $46 million center will contain the usual amenities like food and drink and restrooms and ticketing, it will also showcase information about our region's history.
And it's going to guide visitors to not only information about the park, but certainly the entire region, all the elements. The idea here again is to inform people, entice them to go out in the community and stay longer.
And construction is scheduled to begin this fall and be done in early 2023.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, I look, we all know that the city, unless something's changed, and just correct me, gets nothing from Goat Island. No parking, no anything. At one point, the mayor talked about putting a lodge in there, sort of like a hotel. So,
This is what the mayor had to say about it.
oh, we got some. Okay,
Yeah, it
Go
says
ahead.
as the oldest state park in the United States, the most famous park in New York State, I am thrilled at the opportunity with innovative improvements, said City of Niagara Falls Mayor Robert Restaino. Knowing that our city plays host to over 9 million visitors each year and is the tourism catalyst for Western New York, we are excited for the opportunity to better accommodate.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
Like if the money was staying here, this
Oh,
would
it'd be
be so
outstanding.
awesome.
oh, this would be, yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's so many places that you could put it that
Well, they don't want it. Well, it's coming from Albany.
Yeah.
They're not putting, the mayor doesn't have a choice.
No.
This is happening.
Right, because who else was there? This Kathy Hochul, and she had to say that the Niagara Falls is a wonder of the world, unique to Western New York. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul said, with a rich legacy as the oldest state park in the United States, New York continues to invest in this landmark gem to bolster regional tourism, economic recovery, and showcase the awe-inspiring attractions for future generations. Isn't that really economic recovery?
and then if you leave the state park, you can get murdered
Well, not only that, if
and
you leave the
run
state-
into trash and
But not only that, but if you leave the state park, the only thing you're going to get after is hotels. You're going
Right.
to hopefully, if Canada, Jesus, when the border opens, that's not New York's problem. New York State can't put up attractions. I know, you know what I mean. But what New York State could do is somehow, I know it's a state land, but somehow say, hey, take 10% of the parking, even something. I would.
You know, as a resident, you can't even go down there and park.
No, you got to pay your $20.
Yeah, you've got to pay
Or whatever it is.
$20 to. You know, I mean, like me personally, being disabled, can't walk a huge distance. We live so close to the falls. I
don't
can't
go.
tell you the last time I've been there because I'm not going to pay $20.
And you can't, and you're that far away.
Yeah.
Now here's another quote. I got a quote for you that I forgot to give you. It's from Robert Ort. Senator Ort. It was there. There was all high fives going around. It was congratulations. There was victory laps. Ort here says, whenever I go to other parts of the country, whether it's theaters, whether it's arts, culture, very often there's a private, not-for-profit dollars that are involved in these projects. The Ralph Wilson Foundation helped get this project to the finish line. Ralph Wilson Foundation did give $9 million to this project to help the state, I guess. I don't know. So there's from him. Assemblyman Morinello says, we are at the beginning of greatness. The pieces are here. Yeah, in the park, in the park, in Goat Island, that we can't get any of the revenue from. Tell me how I don't know how. Look, they're coming to the falls. I don't care about the visitor center or not. People don't. It's just like when we talk about bed taxes and tourist taxes, right?
Right.
If I'm going to Florida, if I'm going to Virginia Beach, I'm not looking at that. When I make my reservations, I'm not looking at what is the tourist tax in Virginia Beach. Oh, it's 15%. I'm not going.
Yeah.
Come on.
When the kids wanted to go to Disney,
you're not looking.
I planned the trip to Disney.
Now,
I'm not looking to see, how much are we going to pay in taxes.
I just said, we're not very, who cares?
Yeah.
You don't look at no one looks at a tourist tax. If you're planning to go to Niagara Falls, you're not looking at it. You know who's looking at it is me, and everyone else should, because it's at 5 or 6%, whatever the hell it is. 1% goes to the trolley, something else goes to here, something else goes to there.
Florida, it's over like 20, isn't it?
But that's how no one pays state taxes there, because
Right.
they're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart, and you don't have to pay your state taxes. But here, here's Syracuse, a place Syracuse was at 5%. Somehow they were able to get the state of New York to raise it to 7%, and their county, I can't remember the name of it, whatever. Onondaga. They were able to get an extra $2.5 million in revenue. We, on the other hand, whenever I've brought it up, I've been pushed back at very hard that we can't do it. How dare you? How could you do it? How could you do it? For me, if I'm the mayor or a city councilman and that's happening, or if I'm Robert Ort or if I'm Morinello, I'm not happy with this visitor center.
And they got $2.5 million dollar value from doing it.
Yes, from doing it.
We
can't.
Get much more visitors than
9 million.
New York.
He said 9 million, the mayor told us, right? Mm-hmm. On a given thing. So what I'm trying to say, I think Manhattan's at 15%. I don't understand why that is it's like taboo type of thing. We can't do it. I don't know how any one of those guys were happy about what they saw. Sure, it's going to be a beautiful building, of course. Great. But you can't be happy when there's nothing to be happy about. Tell me where I'm wrong. I don't know what to do to say I'm happy. I'm happy when we hear that NFR is going to do something, maybe.
Right.
For the last 20 years, but nothing happens. I'm not happy with this. There's nothing I can say to turn it better. I don't know.
And it's a shame because it seems like all anyone's worried about is improving Niagara Falls for the tourists, and there's no interest in improving Niagara Falls for the residents.
Yeah, the residents, But what would be a nice way to improve for the residents? If we could have some of the money from the New York State. I know this would take probably a constitutional convention in New York State. I'm sure all hell would break loose for us to get some sort of percentage from that park.
Right.
That would help the residents because what would go away? The garbage fee would go away, I'm sure. All that stuff. Mm-hmm. We probably could get some relief for homeowners, for renters, for everybody. Because you know what? When the homeowners get there and the renters, it passed on down the line. So, no, there's just nothing. And I hope guys like Jim, I hope anyone else that's running for city council would have the courage to possibly say, let's do, go to Albany. I know they can. Wade said it earlier. It may not be for 30 years down the road, maybe 40. You get your message, keep going, and hopefully you just keep going and going. I mean, the governor said during COVID, I heard him, everything's on the table for revenue because the state was hurting.
Right.
And I don't know if that to me tells me, let's go up there. Let's say, hey, bed tax, can we raise it at some? Does it have to go to that trolley? Do we really need to push people to Lewiston? Is it really that important that people in city of Niagara, tourists in Niagara Falls need to go to Lewiston? Does Lewiston really need the revenue? Or does Niagara Falls need the revenue?
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do I really need to send them to Ransomville, or do I want to keep them here?
And when the governor says that,
when
the governor says everything's on the table, does anyone who is an elected official from Niagara Falls or on behalf of Niagara Falls go to him with any ideas that would
I'm going to answer
that would better the city?
Let me answer your question. Robert Ord is our senator, right? Don't care about Niagara Falls, and I don't care what he said. I know he doesn't, just like George Maziarz didn't.
Right.
It's North Tonawanda. The city of Niagara Falls, by those guys, has always been looked at as just something for Albany, or I think it's a way of getting favors, but not. The city's always been. I can't say I won't say what I've heard that city referred to by Senator Maziarz. I can't say it on the air.
Right.
Then you got Mr. Morinello. I mean, geez, these are Republicans though now. Now the mayor's a Democrat. Kathy Hochul. They're in. We knew that. We knew the people knew when they elected them what they were electing. Fine. But when you got a Republican like Ort who's running around on Fox News screaming and yelling about investigations into Governor Cuomo, who I think should be investigated because of ethics.
Sure.
Robert Ort should be investigated because of ethics, because of what happened, and he knows what happened when he left city clerk to the thing. He needed $5,000 more, the fake job, the whole deal. Got off with nothing. So, stop worrying about Fox News. Stop worrying about all that. And how about worrying about the fact that you just were so happy for that building that's going to go up to do nothing.
What about the mayor of our city,
Well,
who's such good friends with
compromised.
Kathy Hochul and the governor? Can't he say
No, because he's compromised. Because
everything's on the table? We need something here.
No, it's compromised. Yeah, if we had, maybe someone else would have won that election. But the people of Niagara Falls, the voters, only 39% came out, crazy, unbelievably, said we want that.
Yeah.
We want to have an arm of Albany in our city hall. We want that. We want it, and they got it. So now, fine, it's business as usual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and there you go.
We hear so many of the Republican people out there, the supporters, who, they love Ort. They love him. And they can't stand Kathy Hochul. They can't stand Governor Cuomo. And do they not see what is happening? It's tomato. They are on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
And for you guys to continue just to look past this and stick with your own team, this isn't sports. This is our lives.
Think about all the Republicans that I know, that I won't mention, that supported the mayor, who is, I've said this on many shows here with Citizens United, that knew what the mayor was associated, knew that he was going to be, a governor guy. He's never going to stand up. He's never going to say anything. He's going to just do what they want. And many Republicans backed him. The city chairman backed him, but he did not endorse him. So that's fine. We knew that. There was no endorsement. So there you go, man. I mean, Ort and Morinello, being Republicans, sat there and praised this. $46 million for something that's unnecessary. Really, it's unnecessary when you think of the problems in Niagara Falls. But this has nothing to do with Niagara Falls. It's just happened to be where the water is. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It never matters. But that was my complaint during whenever these elections come around. Where are these council people going to think? I don't know, because they don't ask it. Once again, the media's dead, as you know. You guys know there's no media here in the Falls. We're going to have to fill the void, and they don't answer questions. I want to know if that question would have been asked anywhere to any of these council guys, people that are running. Because there's three. They're going to take whoever comes in takes the majority, pretty much, you know? And what do they think of this? They love it? Do they like it? Is it good? Is it bad? Who the hell knows?
Right.
And they may not want to answer it. All right, let's take a break. We got some more sponsors, and I am proud to see them. And we're back. Thank you to the sponsors there. And soon we'll be having more updates on dogs and cats that you can, go and adopt. Because they're always there waiting for you. And, watch our, you see them and you like our show, please reach out to those sponsors and take them up on what they can do for you. Also, the draw is going, I can't wait for that show. Saturdays, it's going to be on at 9.
Saturdays
We're getting close to releasing.
Yes. First week of May.
That's exciting.
That is very exciting.
That's all about local musicians.
Yeah.
It's good, and they all do their own music too, which is really cool.
All original music.
All original music.
And it's such a cool time to start that, where I know so many people are at home missing having that experience of going out and seeing their favorite local band, and now this will give them an opportunity to see them, via
here,
Facebook
Gorillas Inc.
and via
Gorillas Inc.'s bringing it. Find it where you want.
Yes.
We're bringing it right to you.
People asked like, what does that mean? The draw. Why did you guys pick that name? And what we're ultimately trying to do for the Western New York musicians is draw them a crowd. Right. So the draw. We're going to try to help as many local artists as possible.
Right. Yeah, I can't wait.
And I bet you that these bands are going to make a lot of fans from the people that watch through Gorillas Inc. to where COVID goes away and they're out playing again. And I bet you a lot of our people are going to go and see them where they play.
Next story. We got to do this really quick, but it's a story that I found to be just bizarre because it caught fire and the Niagara Reporter was pushing it. I don't know why it's catching such fire, and I'm going to tell you what I think of it. And it's about what's going on at Niagara University, which usually conducts the Niagara County Law Enforcement Academy graduates. I just don't get this. Now, let's all remember Niagara University is a private institution. As a private institution, it's not like being at the University of Buffalo. So pretty much they have rules that they can enforce. If they say you can for protesting on private universities, you can be punished as a student for that. There is, if they got that control in these private universities. So we hear and we know that there was talk of some kind of a protest. I don't know what type. I would imagine hopefully it's peaceful. I would assume it would be. They always, around here, they've always happened. I can't talk for anywhere else. We've seen them in Niagara Falls and Niagara County. They can be loud, but they're peaceful. Good. We all like that. No one should be against that. And no one is, I don't think. So Niagara University decides, and I almost can't blame Niagara University. They're going to try to move this to another location, for this year. And then I guess probably deal with it. All right, I get it. Because if they do move it, maybe they won't have to have that happen on their campus. There won't be, maybe we don't know. Maybe Niagara's going to try to talk to the people, the students that are expressing their concern, which is what it always is. They're expressing their concern. So we don't know. No one knows really. But we get a great, as usual, fake account that's got to come on Facebook, put out some kind of message. You go look at the fake account, and of course it's all gone. The account's still there, but their messages are gone. They have 2 followers. They have no pictures except, nothing. So they start this, and I'm watching on Facebook. People are sharing it. People are screenshotting it. It's going all over. Wildfire. So now we're talking about cancel culture, and we're talking about all this stuff, and we're canceling the Niagara, the police, the Niagara County Sheriff's Department. We're canceling everybody. Legislator Godfrey, who's from Wilson, Cambria, I think he lives in Burt, New York, or wherever, he gets involved, or he's mad, and he's not going to take it no more. He's going to see if Niagara County, how they can break their relationship with Niagara University. I know I'm getting winded here, but Legislator Godfrey probably should worry about Wilson and Cambria a little bit. And why not the Lewiston legislator? Because they do have districts, not unlike Niagara Falls' council. So, I mean, we got Sheriff Felicetti. I think we got his quote, right?
Yeah. What Felicetti is saying here is that I don't know why they are protesting, Felicetti said. There have never been issues between academy recruits and NU students. We got something else from the organizers.
Okay, let's see that.
And I think this is kind of the problem here, where there's no communication.
Right.
What one of the petition going around from the organizers who are creating the protest, it says the academy provides no benefit to the school. It provides zero revenue for the university. It takes up physical space for people that do not even pay to attend here and could be used for other things such as student union or classrooms. It puts the burden on the students to engage with and share space with cadets, as if our campus is their playground or experiment zone and not a university.
Now, here's what I think. I think there's an issue. I don't know why the sheriff said that. I mean, it doesn't mean there has to be fist fights. There's issues, not like that, like arguing and yelling and screaming at each other. I think they're just telling you the issue right there. I think so. That doesn't mean there's violence or there's like the cadets are doing something. No one's doing anything. It seems like there's just a concern. So instead of going and seeing what's the concern, maybe like I said, Niagara University. Why wouldn't the sheriff or some agency work with Niagara University to get the guy who's leading the organizer? Right. Let's get him to talk.
We're talking about NU students as well who are
paying to be there.
Yeah, who are paying to be there.
Parents are paying to be there.
Cause a ruckus.
They're not looking to. They just told you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They're not looking to destroy their university. They're not looking to destroy the campus. I think the problem is every time these kind of things come up, you get a fake Facebook account that throws out stuff. Then everyone has Portland in mind. Everyone believes this is going to be Berkeley in the 60s. Here we go. It's going to be Kent State. You don't know. First off, there should be some kind of communication. I think I understand what Niagara University did by moving it, but I'm hoping Niagara University is talking to... That's not going to be the solution, obviously. It's a solution for the moment, which I don't blame them because you don't want to have anything. But then... I think they have to, I don't know, maybe they are. That's why I'm talking without knowledge. But I'm hoping Niagara University is speaking with the organizers of the protest and finding out why and what they can do to make it better. I mean, it seems that simple, doesn't it? Wade, Rob, it just seems simple. And then you won't, you squash things before they start because you act like hopefully you're concerned. And that's it.
Sheriff Felicetti, you don't have the answer to this question.
Find out. Yeah. Ask them why.
Exactly.
Why is there a problem? And here's the other thing, though.
It takes two.
Yeah. Well, now when you get this fake Facebook account putting out stuff, they're saying everyone that's a parent of a kid that's at Niagara University, stop cancel culture. There's a liberal, of course, a woman who's a liberal professor who started all this. But they never name me who the professor is. Why can't they tell me? If you know it's a liberal lady who's the woman, tell me who she is. Why did you not? You're a fake account. You didn't tell me who it is because you don't know who it is because you're not even sure if that's the case. You know what I mean? You don't know.
Buried into this whole thing is a problem with these fake accounts. And I know we don't have time to get into it now. But at some point, that's something that we need to address because more and more... we're having these fake accounts pop up
chaos, too.
That are causing absolute chaos.
And you know what else I learned? People, you can find... If they want to know who you are, they'll know who you are. And I'm talking about police.
Right.
They will know who you are when you're setting up these fake accounts.
Right.
I've learned that. I've seen it. But like, I just think this is such an easy one, guys. I think this is something that could be simply easy. Instead of running out there and screaming and saying, "Oh my God, look at this, look at what this, what this wild professor is doing and starting," and trying to desperately pull it into some kind of culture issue and whatever you call it, it's just not. Maybe it's not it. How do you know? Get together with them and find out. Legislator Gottfried, you're so concerned. Why aren't you going to find out? I know why. Because you want to make sure Wilson and Cambria realizes I'm against cancel culture. Look at me. I'm against it. You know what cancel culture really is sometimes? It's really funny. These people want to do this protest, they said, okay? Niagara University, who is the owner of the whole damn place, because it's a private institution, is moving it. They didn't have to move it. They weren't told you better move it or else. They didn't have to do that. They could have kept it there. They canceled themselves. So now they move. So now we want to, here's the funny thing. Those yelling cancel culture now want to hurt the university and cancel the university. So we have reverse canceling. Everyone's canceling everybody. Cancel, cancel. But then each side yells cancel culture. But from what I see, it ends up being double cancel. And when that happens it's football, right? Offsetting penalties, the play resumes.
Yeah.
That's what this is like, a personal foul, roughing the passer, offside. It doesn't matter, false start. We got all that, and it just cancels each other out. So, guys, I mean, the Niagara Falls Reporter was pushing this so hard that it's just that narrative that isn't fair. Because, of course, you're going to get people riled up. And I don't even blame the people that are saying whatever they're saying on Facebook about it. Because they're not being allowed to get everything. Why wouldn't you, if you knew who the professor was who was doing this, put her name out there? You can. Right. You should put her name out there. It should be known. But it isn't. There's a reason why. And I don't know why. I think we could speculate. But put the name out there. I don't know, man. This seems like, tell me if I'm wrong, but it just seems something to be easy. An easy one to squash, an easy one to, but not squash like in a way that I'm saying the concerns aren't valid. I don't know if they're valid, and I doubt the president of the NU knows if they're valid. I can't believe if the cadets, the sheriff or whoever's the leader over there knows. I know Legislator Godfrey has no idea because he's just reacting. And how about the Reporter or somebody or the Gazette? Right? But there is no media. They could get involved. They could find out. You interview one side, interview the other side, and you see what happened. But we don't have that here. And this is a story about lack of media again, in my mind.
Yep.
This is your lack of media. They don't cover anything, and they're all bought. Think about it. Everyone bitched about the Reporter being bought by NT. The mayor, they only do likable things for those that pay. It's the same as the Gazette and the Buffalo News. They're only doing likable. I mean, they don't show up to a protest that is peaceful down from Whirlpool Park, DeVoe Park, all the way to the mayor's house. If that's not newsworthy, well, then I don't know what is. And we don't have media anymore, and it's sad because we deserve it. Niagara County, Niagara Falls deserve media.
Yep.
And we don't have any. Why wouldn't someone have gone and asked Robert Orr why he was... simply, it didn't even have to be accusatory or trying to fight. Hey, why are you so happy about this? And get him to say why he was so happy about this. Ask the mayor. Does this even help Niagara Falls in any way? And he can explain to us how it helps, you know what I mean? But we can't ask that question anymore.
Because we don't have anybody to ask it.
Well, they're there, but they're bought.
Yeah.
Prohaska, that guy, he does nothing at the Buffalo News. The Gazette has nobody. The Reporter does whatever it does, and it's not doing... You know what else is funny? Unless the Gazette has stopped doing it. Remember there used to always be the police blotter, and you get to see stuff?
Mm-hmm.
There is no police blotter. They rarely report much on anything other than, whatever the mayor's office gives them. But that doesn't happen for the Reporter. They aren't getting, they don't only report what the PIO gives, the Public Information Officer gives them. So how are they able to be involved? You mean they're just on the streets? They're there when the one guy, some craziness where a woman comes into McDonald's and is mad because about her chicken nuggets, and she tells the person, I'm gonna bring someone over to rape your kids because my nuggets are raw," whatever that was. They had that story. No one else has the story. I don't know, man. I really want to thank, though, Jim Perry for showing up, for taking my questions, our questions. I endorse nobody at all for any of this stuff, and I won't. But he was a breath of fresh air, at least, on being an independent and just being someone who's sitting there, who has been involved in a lot of things and is ready to try and make something different. And right now, out of all the candidates running, it's the only one I'm hearing that from. We'll see how this goes as it moves along. I want to thank everyone for watching, of course, on YouTube and on Facebook and anywhere else podcasts are available. Tomorrow night is a big night for Gorillas Inc.
Yeah, John Fidel told everyone to get a good night's sleep. Go to bed early.
Yes, Goal Getters tomorrow will start at 7:30. And we are going to go cover to cover, right? We're going to go from 7:30, well, our pregame show. 8 o'clock it starts. We're going all the way to 11. We're going to do all the picks, live picks. We will then discuss the picks. I hope people will want to discuss them with us. That'd be great. It's going to be...
We're competing with the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So while you're watching the draft, please tune in to us on Facebook and YouTube as well.
Yeah, and watch us. It's going to be a good time. We have a lot of information. Robin has compiled incredible notes. Thank you. And we're just ready for this. Very excited. Don't forget, Friday we will be back too. Goal Getters will come out again for a post-draft thing and other stuff. Don't forget all the shows. Please go to Gorillas Inc.'s Facebook page. Even the website. Look at our sponsors. Look at the people that are there to help you. With photography, with all kinds of things. Check it out. Well, that looks like we're done for our Wednesday night.
We got to go around the room. And
That's right. Let's go.
Numbers.
Thank you, Wade.
I'm
losing my mind. Yeah, I know. Look at this guy. I don't know what's going on. Thanks, Wade. Yeah, I forgot my numbers. All right. Go around the... Wade, what's your final
Last
thoughts?
words. Great show. Thank you to James Perry for coming on. Next week we have Michael Benedict, who's running for Niagara County Judge. We're looking forward for him answering some questions, the questions he can answer as a judge, as a judge candidate. So, excited for that. Excited for us moving into our new location on Niagara Falls Boulevard, right in North Tonawanda, Wheatfield area.
It's beautiful.
So that's exciting news. We look to continue to dominate Western New York and build bigger and build the new.
Yes. Robin.
I also want to thank Jim Perry. I thought he was an amazing guest, answered all the questions very honestly, in my opinion, and really added something to the show. I'm really looking forward to Goal Getters tomorrow night and Friday night, but specifically tomorrow to break down the draft is just like a dream come true. So we're putting together a lot of good information, and I hope a lot of people will tune in and join the draft with us.
And for me, my final thought is this. Jim Perry was a very good guest. He answered all the questions. He didn't shy away from any of them. And I can't wait to have Michael Benedict here to talk to him. I can't wait to get into our new place, which is going to make it even bigger and better. And as Wade said, the domination of, not even it's domination, and we got a void to fill. And we're going to fill it, whether people like it or not. We're filling the void. And it's going to happen. So let me get to my numbers that I read off every day, because they're very important, especially with what's going on around here. When I think of friends of the show and stuff, I think of Noel, I think of Robin, I think of people, I think of Val, I think of a lot of people. Suzanne, I think of people, I think of people. And 433-6714 is the YWCA. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's the YWCA of Niagara County, and they have counselors waiting for you. They will counsel you at home. You don't even have to leave your house. It's all free of charge. They have people, advocates, that will come to court with you, will go to the police station with you, go to the hospital with you, go anywhere with you. It's an incredible place. This is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Pay attention. You know what? Check out the YWCA's Facebook page and their websites. You know, they would love a donation. It's any size. It doesn't matter how big or small.
I have a donation.
Yeah, for your birthday coming up on April 30th. Right. Go to your page. So that's 433-6714. They're angels on earth, and they're looking to make those people that were victims turn to survivors and head on to being the warriors that then fight back. Mental health, man. It's very important. We all go through dark periods. We all go through anxiety. We go through panic. We go through changes in our lives. We go through even job loss can cause depression. Please, 1-800-662-4357. 1-800-662-4357. It's free of charge. They're there 24/7. There's always someone to talk to you. And please don't forget that you're never alone. We'll be back on Wednesday. Join us tomorrow, though, for the big show starting at 7:30. Good night, everyone.
Good night.